All right, now we're live on Facebook as well. Okay, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Thank you so much for being here. For some of you who are here listening in from my Facebook, welcome. And for those of you who are listening in from the podcast, I'm very, very grateful to have you on board as well. And right now, we are launching the podcast of Global Connections with Love and Respect. Now, just recently in 2025, December, we were doing a Global Connections event in Dammam, Saudi Arabia, and it was an amazing session where we got to meet other entrepreneurs and businesses who do good with their business and with their lives and with their intentions and with their professions, right? So, as you all know, Love and Respect Transforms Holdings is a social impact business. I am the co-founder of the Love and Respect, and we have a one help one model. Every training and coaching also contributes to the mindset and skill set training of a marginalized community here in Kuala Lumpur. And I believe businesses is a channel for good, and businesses can do good in the world and transform um, systems, can transform communities to become thriving, to be positive, and live with lots of love and respect and kindness, which is the topic that we'll be addressing today. And I believe also that business can do good for people and planet. And actually, doing good is good for business. And what I will like to share today is that, um, through the work that I do, through the work that I met a lot of other businesses and entrepreneurs do, I'm very inspired that, there are a lot of good people out there in the world. And that's why I'm really, really excited that for the launch of the podcast this time, the Global Connections with Love and Respect podcast, I'm so privileged to have Luiz Tiago here from Brazil to be my first guest. And just a little bit of background, and I would love to share about Luis because I believe this is really wonderful bio that he sent to me, and I think everybody should know about him. Yeah, Luis Tiago is known as Mr. Kindness, and he is an international speaker, author, and leadership mentor. He's recognized as the leading authority on kindness in Brazil and one of the foremost voices worldwide. He has dedicated his career to transforming individuals, leaders, and organizations through kindness as a strategic competence. He is the founder of World Kindness Network, a global movement with active initiatives in 29 countries, engaging more than 320,000 volunteers in action focused on peace, care, and the humanization of relationships. His work has earned 3 nominations for the Nobel Peace Prize in recognition of its social and humanitarian impact. As the creator of the Gentle Leader 9G certification, he works with companies, hospitals, public institutions, and educational organizations, fostering more human-centered, productive, and sustainable organizational cultures. His approach integrates philosophy, behavior, leadership, and measurable results, translating human values into high performance practices. Now, all of these words actually really speak very closely to my heart. And I'm so, so excited to have Luis Tiago here with me and sharing with all of you on the amazing work that he is doing. So, with that, please welcome, yay, Luis Tiago. Thank
Hello,
you.
Rashida.
Thank you so much, Luis. I'm so happy that you are here. And just sharing a little bit about you just now has put a lot of inspiration in my heart. And also, I felt, talking about Mr. Kindness, with the word kindness, it has actually put kindness also in my heart because words have power, right? So, can you also share with the audiences, what got you started? Tell us the story of how kindness came about.
Rashida, I am the person who needs to say that I am grateful for being here with you. I want everybody to listen to my words because Rashida I don't know how she can organize her schedule, her family, her uh, daily routines. Uh, Her husband that I love sent my hugs to you. I really appreciate your life. I really appreciate your style of life, your relationship with the animals, with the nature, with love, respect, and with your family. I really appreciate your structure. That structure of life, uh, we must be close. You and your family, Moshida, are so, how can I say, uh, everybody must be close to you to understand how life goes on, how we can work, take care of our family, take care of the nature, and make business. Why not? Né? You guys, you, Moshida, and Zil, do all that all the time. You are only one, only one. So I really appreciate. I am the person who is grateful here for this invitation, for be remembered for you uh, every time you talk about kindness. Thank you for remember my name, remember my story, my history in life with kindness. Zil, my hug here
Thank you.
for you and your family. Rashida, I really appreciate your lifestyle and your faith, everything that you guys do all the time. Um, uh, this is a natural system that works all the time, and this is kindness. This is kindness. When we take care of ourselves, of our family, our job, our business, and the nature, this is kindness. When we take care of the world, taking care of the people we love and the nature as well. Uh, I'm going to answer your question, Murshida. I think we have a little bit of time to talk about kindness and my relationship with this value so important, so necessary, but not too much processed by the humans. We need to talk about it. We need to advertise the the humans, about the importance of taking care of the other, listen to other people. My relationship with the kindness, it began when I was a teen. I was 15 years old. I had to work. I'm from Rio de Janeiro, where I am right now. I had to work to get money and afford my school. I had to work, and my first job was selling coffee on the streets here in Rio de Janeiro. I went to the streets with coffee bottles, cups, and went to the streets to sell coffee. Does anyone here want coffee? Do you want a coffee? Coffee with milk, latte, tea, sometimes hot chocolate. That was my first job when I was 15 years old. I am proud of my history, but I don't desire this begin for anyone. I don't want your children, your teens, your son, your daughter to begin their lives working on the streets the same way I did when I was 15 years old. I was um, closed to violence, urban violence. I was closed to rain, sun, warm, cold, violent people, drug trafficking, whatever. But I was closed also to honest people. Most of the people on the streets were honest. People trying every day to work, get get the money, and pay their bills with dignity. And there was a person, a man, a special man, that every day went to the streets the same way I did, I used it to do, but his job was to spread kindness messages on the streets. He used to walk on the streets saying, for example, kindness generates kindness. That's the most famous phrase of him. Kindness generates kindness. Be kind to everybody. And there was a specific phrase that was, the man of the future will be the kind man. The man of the future will be the man who is able to practice kindness. He used it to spread to everybody. It doesn't matter if you want to listen to that phrase or not. He didn't care about your opinion. He was on the streets spreading kindness messages. So every day I was listening to that phrases every day, every day, every day. So that was the situation that made me pay attention to kind words, to kindness, simply kindness.
Was
Oh,
there
everything in my life gone right. I could study. I went to the university.
Mhm,
I went to study education.
mhm,
I was graduated in a public university here in Brazil. I, I graduated. I went to the markets. I began working. I worked in a traditional corporation, uh, the traditional markets, the capitalism, the competition. You know very well, Mushida,
yeah,
that system. uh,
yeah.
Um, I studied. I continue. I kept myself studying all the time, studying all the time, studying all the time, getting money. I went. I was. I used it to work for 20 years in
Mhm.
this traditional market. 20 years of my life, and the last 2 years I worked in Europe. In Europe, I was transferred from Brazil to Europe, so I
Mhm.
could work and get more money in Europe, working honestly to my life, to my comforts, to my career. And I always kept myself studying and studying all the time. When I went
Wow.
to the master degree, I decided myself to dedicate my life to study kindness. I remember that man, that old man on the streets of Rio de Janeiro that went to the streets to spread kindness messages. I decided to devote to him my studies in the university. So I decided to dedicate myself to study kindness and its impacts in the society as well. Um, uh, how kindness can transform the world, beginning to myself, beginning to my inner, how kindness can change around me, how kindness can change my family, how kindness can change my team here in the company, how kindness can change the people who lives on my streets, the governors, how kindness can change the world. Um, I'm finishing this question, but I want to reinforce, Morshida, that every change you desire to the world begins at first in you. Gandhi used it to say this: everything you want to change in the world, please first change in yourself.
Wow, that is so powerful. It all starts with you first before you can change things or change the situation. It all starts with self, right? And I think that's really powerful sharing. I just wanted to ask you, Louise, about when you were saying about the man in the street talking about kindness, was there a specific a topic or the angle that he was speaking about that really touched you? And you said, "Oh, this is something that impacted me." What
Uh,
was he saying? Yeah. About
Yes,
kindness, which area?
yes. Sometimes I can't listen to your voice
Oh,
clearly, but I think I understood your question. You asked me about that man that
yeah,
walk on the street spreading kindness
yeah,
messages. If
yes.
there was a specific message that
Uh-huh.
touched me myself, is that? Yes, yes, there was. There was a specific message, a phrase that he used to say to uh, to everybody. The man of the future will be the man who practices kindness. The human being of the future will be the human being who knows the importance of kindness and how to practice it. Um, uh, I used to listen to these words 30 years ago. I'm 55 years old. So 30, 40 years ago, huh? uh, at that time, I understood that one day I should be that man of the future. That one day in the future, I would be that man. I needed to be that man. At that time, when I was 15 years old, when I listened to those words, I understood that one day I have to make a decision, to take a decision. For a while, I don't want to decide anything about kindness. For a while in my life, in my life structure, I'm not able to afford support a, a kindness practice because I need first to work. That was my thoughts. My mindset at that time, at that period, was I need to work because everything is so difficult here. Everything is so hard. I don't have enough time to practice kindness. But no, Mashida, um, I was in a very hard moment of my life. My family was so simple, so poor. I needed to work when I was 15 years old to afford my studies, my school. So it was not easy. When you talk about kindness to a person in this situation, it's not easy. It's not easy to talk about kindness in the companies. Even if you are a rich person, even if you are a very important person in that company, it doesn't matter your position in society. It doesn't matter. Talk about kindness. It's not easy. Talk about love and respect. It's not easy. But one day, well, in my life, when I finished my graduation, I went to the master degree in the university. I had a conscience, my conscience has decided to be grateful. Everything in my life was good. Everything in my life was walking good. My life was driving itself easily, comfortably. I had no difficulty anymore. I was working. I had a good job, but my mind asked me take a decision. At that time, I was around 26 years old, 27 years old. Take a decision. Be grateful. The world, people, the world needs kindness. You knew a man on the streets, you met a man on the streets that was brave. He faced the police. He faced the governors in Brazil in a very difficult period in Brazil. He was brave. So, Luis, take a decision. I decided myself to be grateful and study kindness. And that was the first the first day of my whole life that everything was changing and transforming, Moshida. Remember, people, my friends, remember, the man of the future is the kind man. But
Mm.
we are nowadays that man.
Yeah.
We are now here, where you are in your country, Malaysia, Singapore, Brazil, Argentina, Portugal. We are that man. We are
Yeah.
that person. Kindness must be practiced right now, right here, right there, when you are.
Wow, absolutely. I so believe in that. It is really super powerful. I love that sharing. And the fact that what that man when you were 15 years old impacted you, you actually manifest that, you are that man of the future and that person who is spreading kindness right now and in a much bigger way. It's a lot you shared with me like you were traveling a lot, sharing about kindness all over the world. And I would love also to hear some stories if you have any personal experiences that you have with your perhaps clients or people that you came across with who once there was some person before, and because of kindness or what something that you shared with him or her that has transformed his life. Is there a story that you can share with all of us?
I heard some days ago in a conference here in Brazil. I was a speaker in that conference. I was talking about my life, my history, whatever. And a person in the final, a woman, was waiting to take a photo, a picture with me in the final. And she told me something very interesting, I think very interesting thing um, about kindness. Um, she told me that her life would change if she decided herself for kindness one day. We cannot, we cannot, we cannot all the time ask people to be kindness, to practice kindness. So uh, I was with that, but this decision is personal. I decide myself for kindness, for love, respect. As I was telling to you, I decided to study kindness in the university, from a master degree to my doctor degree. When I finished my doctor, I decided to come to Brazil, to return to Brazil. I was in Europe to return to Brazil, and I dedicate myself, my job, to spread kindness. I didn't know how it was. I didn't know how it could begin, how what was written in my destiny with kindness, dedicating myself the whole time, my whole day to spread kindness. That was very difficult, I must confess. That's difficult until nowadays, I must confess. But I decided to talk, to speak about kindness in conferences, universities, companies, etc. But uh, something was missing. I was not feeling myself full. You know, um, uh, something is missing inside you. Something is absent. Something is not. I'm not feeling completely. I needed to do something more, something in bonus, in extra for kindness. Kindness, it's very important to talk about kindness. You must talk, please talk. Talk to your friends, to your partners in your job. Talk about kindness in your religion. Talk. But practice, practice. I was, my mind at that time when I returned to Brazil was not happy. My heart was not happy. I I need to talk, but I need to practice. What can I do? I decided to go to the streets here in Rio to spread about kindness. In, in that moment, walking on the streets, visiting poor families, visiting families under uh, a misery condition, very poor people under under an acceptable situation. I met the the drug trafficking. I faced the crime. I faced the crime, and I understood that those people, was in a very difficult situation because they didn't have access to education, have social assistance. The governor, the governor wanted to do something, but the governor could not do because the organized crime didn't allow. Here, in this territory, you cannot enter. You cannot enter to bring food. You cannot enter to bring education, schools. You cannot enter to bring health assistance, social assistance. You cannot enter. And the governor here in Brazil, okay, so okay, we won't enter. We won't enter. We are talking about cities like Rio de Janeiro, São Paulo, big cities in Brazil, important cities in Brazil, Salvador, Recife, important, very important cities in Brazil and in Latin America. We're talking about cities with 9 million people living. People living in very special places like Copacabana, Ipanema, but all the people living in territories completely dominated by the drug trafficking with misery under normal conditions of life. So, someone needs to do something. What can I do to help? The first thing of kindness practice, the first pillar structure of kindness is a word that we know everybody knows, that's called dialogue. Let's talk, let's dialogue. A dialogue is very important to respect, to love, for example. So let's dialogue. Let's sit around here, please sit down with the drug trafficking. Let's talk. Can you hear me, please? I'm sorry, pardon, but can you listen to me? I'm just a man trying to do something to help other people. So I could talk to the organized crime. So let's talk with the governor. Governor, please, I talked to the drug trafficking with the commanders. Can you do please something to help the misery people that live on that territory? You can, for example, build a school. You can build a hospital. You can, okay. So, Luis, let's go to the territory. Look, the governor wants to build a hospital, a school here, and they promise that it will be peacefully. So things began to change in Rio de Janeiro, São Paulo, Salvador, and that was my first time nominated for the Peace Nobel Prize.
When was this? When was this? How many years ago?
2018.
Oh.
2018. My
Okay.
first nomination was in 2018, but this job began in 2010
2010,
when I returned to Brazil.
26, 26,
So
yes.
a long journey until the Peace Nobel Prize nomination.
Okay. Yeah.
So that was my first nomination. That was my first experience with kindness in 2010. That kindness can change only with the dialogue. Let's talk.
Yeah,
Let's dialogue.
exactly. I love that because when you assume or you talk bad about people behind their backs, there is no dialogue. It is all about assumptions, it is all about judgments. And that is how people create a lot of tensions and arguments, right? But when you have a dialogue, you get to hear from the other person's point of view. And ultimately, all of us, we are human. And for me, I also believe that humans everywhere around the world, we are similar. It's just like, what it is that drives a person to do something, whether it's good or bad. It is based on people's values, and values are really the basic, and core to a person's behavior, whether they lead to success or whether they lead to something that is destructive. And you started with having dialogues, and I also love the fact that you mentioned about kindness. Yes, like we can talk about kindness, we can analyze and do research about kindness, but it is useless when it is not done through action. And I think that is really what is needed in the world today, starting with us. It all starts with self leadership. And that's how you lead others. By when you lead yourself, that's how you can lead others better, through dialogue, through communication. And I love all that sharing as well. And I see you as a testimony of what the person who was speaking on the streets about kindness has led to you doing what you are doing right now. And you have also impacted others to be kind, to have dialogues, to be able to have education, to have food on their tables, to have proper shelters, because it all starts with that. Now, I also would love if you can share about what are the things that you are doing right now to make it bigger, or um, what are the projects that you are doing to spread this message, because this is so important.
Yeah, I keep myself working and working. Working in the companies, Moshida, for example, with mentoring, trainings, conferences, and working in the society as well. Working um, kindness in practice. We need to talk about kindness, but we need to practice. But I getting slower nowadays because now I have two grandchildren. Yes, I'm a grandfather. I'm so proud of that. I have two grandchildren. Their names are Fernando is a boy and Selena is a girl. 2 years
Oh,
old. They are
so sweet.
twins. They
Oh,
are twins.
twins.
Uh,
Oh,
twins. And I'm so proud of them. So
oh,
proud. And I want to
congratulations.
live close to them. I want to be close. I want to see them growing up, talking, walking, running. I want to be close to them. A closure that I could not with my two daughters. So I want to be closer. So I'm reducing my work in the society and in the companies. So I'm trying to be calmer, slow, uh, slow kindness, but always practicing kindness and spreading kindness in the world. 2 years ago, I decided myself to stop. I'm going to stop. I don't want to know about kindness anymore. I don't want to work with kindness anymore. I'm going to get retired. I'm going to retire myself with kindness. I need to rest. I need to enjoy my life. I need to enjoy my city. I live in the most beautiful city in the world, that's Rio de Janeiro. I need to enjoy. Last year, for you to know, Mashida, and everybody is listening to us, last year I just slept 20 nights in my house. 20 nights. In a 365 periods in the whole year, I just left here 20 nights. I didn't go
Only
to
that throughout the year, that's the only
drink
time
a
that you
coconut
stayed home.
water.
Yeah.
You know, I want to drink coconut water on the beach. I want to see people. I want to get tan, sunny. So I decided to become slow this process. But 2 years ago, with that decision, I was here in my house, in my apartment, and oh my God, what do I do? The World Kindness Day was getting closer in November 13th. It's getting closer. It was, I think that was July or August, 2 years ago. I decided to create a campaign to spread kindness in November. Kindness is the nature. That was the theme. Kindness is the nature. Talk about the relationship between humans and the nature, the taking care of the nature, sustainability. A simple thing, a simple job, a simple stuff. Everybody could enjoy, could join this this theme, whatever. And I was on Instagram, July or August. Kindness is the nature. So the importance of taking care of the nature. So that movement began growing, growing. And in November, 2 years ago, 2023, we did an action in 29 countries involving around 320,000 people in 29 countries, including Malaysia, Singapore, and that was my third nomination for the Peace Nobel Prize.
Wow.
Yes, we need to keep. This is in my blood, you know. This is
Yes,
my
yes.
blood. Kindness is in my blood. So nowadays, I dedicate myself. I keep myself dedicating my life to kindness, to talk about kindness and spread kindness in the companies. There is a mentoring program. You talked in your speech in
Yeah,
the beginning
yeah.
when we were introducing me the certification in kindness 9G,
9G.
9G, 9G. Why G? Why 9? Because kindness is supported by 9 laws, 9 principles, 9 general principles, 9 general laws. That's why 9G is not just a commercial name to sell, to sell easier. This is a mentoring program, a mentoring individual program for leaders in the companies, religious leaders, leaders in families, leaders in society as well. Is a very special program that certificates leaders in kindness practice. I'm very happy with this program here in Brazil because I'm the mentor of very special, brilliant people, some artists, journalists, people, athletes. I'm very happy. Athletes in Brazil, in Portugal, in the US, so in Argentina. So I'm very happy. When we talk English, it becomes easier because we can talk to everybody in any part of the world. So
Yeah.
it's my dedication nowadays for this certification. I work at home. We
Mm-hmm.
do online meetings around to 10 or 11 online meetings in a very special and intense formation in kindness. That's
Yeah,
it.
and wonderful. And the fact that, because of the internet, you can even reach out even further, right? Working from
Sure.
home, and you can still enjoy your house, you can still enjoy beautiful Rio de Janeiro, and also your grandchildren. These are things that can
Yeah.
yeah, happen. But I wanted to ask you also this. This is a question that I was thinking. When you meet people, right? And then sometimes they say, "Oh, I want to be kinder. I want to improve my life." But what are the things that you notice that they keep repeating the same things over and over again, that it is not easy for people to be kind? What is that from your observation and from your research?
Kindness, Moshida, is a very simple word. It's a very uh, kind word. It's a very lovely word. It's a soft word. It's good to listen. It's good to say, to express, but it's a very difficult challenge in our society. Practice kindness depends at first by your decision. You must decide yourself to practice kindness. But to decide yourself to practice kindness, you must advance some steps in your life that avoid this decision. For example, for example, the violence, the urban violence. Well, in big cities, you live in Kuala Lumpur, it's a big city, the traffic, the cars, the buses, everybody is in a hurry, everybody's running all the time, and you don't have time to say sorry, or excuse me, or thank you. Just say thanks. Just say thank. Or if you need to ask something for a person, please, can you do that for me? Please. And put intention, good intention on this. We are in a automatic pilots all the time. All the time we are working, we are prospecting new clients, we are all the time on the internet seeing opportunities, looking for opportunities to get money, to 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 be to be famous, to have success all the time. So um, the the urban violence, the running all the time, it avoids us to decide ourselves for kindness. Other thing, fear. We are afraid all the time. We are afraid to die. We are afraid to get older. We are afraid to get canceled in the internet. To get canceled. You cannot say your opinion sometimes because you can be canceled. Uh, Others' opinion still cares. I really care about your opinion. Your opinion matters. We are in a period, Mushida, that the thing that really needed to care is love. I care about love. I care about respect. I care about kindness. But we care about your opinion. We are warriors. If you can be canceled, your political position, your religion. Oh, my religion here is not good to other religion or other religion group. If I say to everybody that my religion is X, it can bore other religious group. And that religious group won't buy my job because they don't like my religion. Oh, if I vote in the politics, for example, one, but the people who votes in the politics two, We'll cancel it. Look, it's very boring. How can I ask people to be kind all the time if we are afraid? We are afraid to walk on the street. Sorry. We are afraid to walk on the streets, to be robbed. We are afraid to walk on the streets because everybody is in a hurry. We are working all the time. We take a plan. You, for example, you and Zio, all the times you are flying. You take, when you get to the airport, when I know, I'm going to tell you, Zio, pay attention. When I know, oh, Mr. Luiz Tiago, your tickets, you must come to a city very far from Rio. Oh my God, I need to take a plane. I need to go to the airport. Oh my God, go to the airport. You know all the steps. Everybody is in a hurry. Everybody wants to enter the plane fastly. The seats are not comfortable. You don't have food in the plane. You know, everybody's in a hurry to leave the plane, the crafts. So how can I ask people to be kind? So fear, we are afraid, the decision, your mindset, Moshida, and we are afraid to get older and be canceled. So we have many things that avoid us to decide ourselves for kindness.
That's why it's so important for people who believe in kindness, who believe in love and respect, who believe in doing good, must come together and work together to really share with the world that this is the focus, not fear, not desperation, not looking at other people's differences instead of seeing what is similar amongst all of us here in the world, right? Because there are a lot of fights is because people see differences more than similarities, and we are more similar than we are different, actually, human beings, right? And when we all come
Sure.
together, we'll have more than enough for everyone. And this is a programming that has to be done right now consciously throughout the world, because for many, many years, we have grown up with fear, we have grown up with gossip, we have grown up with suspicion and negative news and all those drama and soap operas that is always focusing on things that are backstabbing and things that are negative, right? Instead of showing what is possible, what is good, what is uniting, what is elevating, what is thriving, what can actually make us all richer and happier and glowing with happiness. And that's how we spread peace around the world. And I think this is so important. This message of kindness is so, so important. And that's why I wanted you to come on and share with all of us here, the love and respect community. I'll be sharing this in the podcast that will be launching online, on YouTube, Spotify, and a lot of our personal WhatsApps will be sharing this message. It is so important. And let us all unite globally around the world, yeah, and do good for people and planet. And before we end the session, maybe I'll invite in Zil. Do you want to ask anything or share anything? Yeah, okay, just mute,
Moshida,
unmute.
I want
Yeah,
to leave a message
okay.
to reinforce the importance of choosing kindness every day. Kindness is a decision. I cannot obligate you to practice kindness, but I can ask you, please, practice kindness. But much more than ask you to practice kindness, I must be a reference of kindness practice. I need to be an example, a model of practices of kindness practice. If you ask someone to be kind to other people, please, at first, be an example. If you want the people to be kind with you, please be first. If there's no one kind in your job, in your company, be the first one. If there is no kind driver in your city, be the first one. Be the first one. If in your religion temple there is no one kind, be the first, be the example. I hope, Moshida, that kindness one day will be the first option, the first decision, not the last one, not the last one. That everybody decides itself for kindness at first, not at least, at last. Kindness is urgent, kindness is necessary, but more than ask people to practice, please be the reference, be the model, be the example, because the only way to teach kindness to children, for example, is being a reference, is being an example. So I finish with this message. I'm on Instagram. I think you can write the legend after my Instagram, and I'm available all the time for you to talk about kindness, Bushido.
Yes, I will link your Instagram message also with this podcast. Zil, you wanted to share something or ask something?
Okay, hi Luis. I just want to say thank you very much for coming on here and sharing your very inspiring story. I was very inspired by your story. Like for myself, even though I'm at this age in my life, but I still want to learn. I still want to, like practice a lot of good things in my life. So like people like you gives people even in our age, we give us a hope that there are still people doing good things. I don't really have a question because what you said at the last part of your sharing is not really answered my question. Right. So, but I just want to thank you for being here and sharing your kindness. And I hope that in the future we can do more collaborations in the future to spread kindness and love, respect in the world. Yeah.
Thank you, Zil. It's nice to
Welcome.
see you,
Yeah,
Zil.
yeah.
It's very
I
nice.
was not very well today, but I just decided to, okay, I just go
I
and listen to
respect
you.
you
And
and your
I
family, Zil. I
thank
really
you.
respect you and your family.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for the
One day to
respect.
meet you, hope to go to Brazil, one day to meet you. So.
It's not. I'm not listening to you so
Okay, no,
well.
I said one day we can go to Brazil to meet you in person.
Please,
Yes,
please
yes,
come
yes.
over
One of our
here.
dreams. Yeah, inshallah.
Come. It's going to be, it will be a pleasure to host you here
Yeah.
in Rio de
Yeah.
Janeiro.
Yeah, we'll plan that in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you
Welcome.
so much for listening in, and we'll update you of the podcasts that are coming up as well in the future. And with that, lots of love and respect. And thank you so much, Luis, for being here with us today. Bye.
Thank
Thank you,
you,
Luis.
Moshida.
Thank
Thank
you.
you again. I'm so grateful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you so much,
Oh, my
Luis.
dear friends. Thank you very much.
That was lovely. I love the sharing. Yeah,
I
so
love
there's so
talking
many
to you and Zil.
yeah, so many good tips that was given. Yeah. All
Thank you
right.
very much for the
Hey,
invitation.
thank you so much. Okay, bye-bye. Have a good
Bye.
day.